Joe knows that Louis was born in Paris's 10th arrondissement in 1877, and that his mother was called Salomé Schuch. To see if she can find out more about Salomé, she's come to the Paris Hospital archives where the birth records for the city are held. Genealogist Karen Tardy has agreed to help Joe with her search.
Hello. Are you Karen?
Yes.
Hi.
Karen.
How do you do? I'm Joe.
Nice to meet you.
Pleased to meet you too.
All the birth certificates are organized by date.
Right.
Enter the number of arrondissement
10th arrondissement.
and the date. July 07, 1877. Yes, perfect.
Recherché?
Yes.
So we're looking for Volant
You can zoom with
this.
With this.
Yeah.
yeah,
We're in July.
Yes.
Le 31 juillet.
31 juillet. But there is no Louis Volant in this
No.
page.
Schuch.
What's
Salomé
that?
Schuch, that's him. That's his mother's name.
Is mother there?
So this must be him.
Yeah.
Louis, male child, born yesterday,
Born yesterday.
at 7 o'clock in the morning, son of Salomé Schuch, who is aged 23 years, domestic servant.
She was a servant. But it's not Louis Volant. It's Louis Schuch.
He was not born Louis Volant.
Yes. There is no name father.
There's no father. Oh my goodness. We have a pregnant servant, a pregnant unmarried servant.
Under 19th century French law, unmarried mothers like Salomé had to legally acknowledge their illegitimate children if they intended to keep them.
Oh, I see a Louis.
Louis. Yes, Salomé Schuch.
Yes. 23-year-old servant recognizes her natural son,
Natural
Louis.
son.
I had high hopes of Salomé. I didn't think she was going to abandon her son.
And we have not the name of the father.
And no name of the father.
She signed.
And she signed, that's her signature.
Yes, this is the signature.
Karen has found more information about Salomé in the hospital's admissions register.
Oh my goodness. Schuch. Salomé Schuch, age 23, servant.
She's single.
She's single. As are all these women, and they're all single. Lots and lots of entries like that.
Yes. It was very common in Paris at this period. 30% of Parisian babies are illegitimate.
Really? Wow. So she was in hospital for 8 days?
8 days.
And as a servant, she was probably living with the family she was working for?
Probably.
Right. So she's living in Rue Clausel, number 19.
In the 9th
9th
arrondissement.
arrondissement. Is that quite near here?
Yes, it's not so far from here.
I'm very intrigued about Salomé Schuch. She was a servant, probably a maid, I'm assuming. And we've got an address for where I think she was living and working when Louis was born. So I'm interested to see that house and know where she was at this time.
Joe has discovered that as a young woman, her great-great-grandmother, Salomé Schuch, worked as a maid in the north of Paris. To find out more, she has arranged to meet historian and writer Marlo Johnston.
Hello. Are you Marlo?
I am Marlo.
I'm Joe.
Hello, Joe.
How do you do?
And this is number 19 Rue Clausel, where your great-great-grandmother lived.
Right.
Shall we go
I'd
in?
love to go in.
This is the first floor, and this document shows everyone who rents the building. Each floor had several flats. The biggest would be that one.
Facing the street? Then.
Yes. People who lived there would be more prosperous. And there was a lady on this floor called Demoiselle Raymond,
Right.
and she had 2 flats on this floor,
Right.
which is unusual. Now, she would need a maid.
Ah.
The people in the tiny flats wouldn't need a maid. The concierge downstairs would do any bits that they needed.
So if Salomé was the maid, what sort of duties would you expect her to have performed?
If she was the only maid, she would be doing cooking and cleaning. She would have to fetch and carry coal, fetch and carry water.
The hard physical work.
It would certainly be hard work.
It's just the strangest feeling to think she walked these stairs.
Yes. This is where she would live.
Oh my God.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's incredibly cramped.
They were tiny, these rooms. They would hold a bed and perhaps a little washstand and no more. She would come down in the morning to do her work and she would go up at night to go to bed. That would be it. It was just a bed to sleep in. It was nothing else.
Domestic maids like Salomé were near the bottom of the economic and social scale in late 19th century Paris. As well as earning less than other working women, they were often forced to work longer hours and had little protection from abusive employers. By 1880, domestiques also accounted for more illegitimate births in the city than any other profession.
If a maid fell pregnant, I'm assuming that wouldn't be something she'd want to advertise to her employer.
She would conceal it. If she felt she had to say, or if it was particularly obvious, the chances are she would be dismissed. But in this building, she was pregnant, and she was going up and down stairs, and she obviously kept it up as long as she possibly could.
Oh, Salomé, what a life.
Marlowe has been researching what happened to Salomé after she gave birth to Louis in 1877, and has uncovered some documents she wants to show Joe.
18 months later, she's moved along the road from Rue Clausel to Rue Milton, and she has another baby.
Oh, Salomé.
Called Gabriel.
Gabriel, another son.
Gabriel Jean, in December of 1878.
Right. Oh, the name Volant has appeared for the first time because this is the son of Pierre Volant.
That's right.
Non-marié, they
Non-marié.
weren't married.
No.
But they were living together.
Yes.
And he's happy to acknowledge the child as his own because he's...
Well, because he said
He
he's
has
the
said
father.
he has said he's the father. So I'm liking Pierre quite a lot at this point. Oh, Salomé isn't a maid anymore. She is a couturière.
She is. She's a dressmaker.
So she's gained a man and a profession
Yes.
within 18 months.
Yes, it's not bad, is it?
Good for Salomé.
Yes. And in 1883...
She's married.
That's right. This is the marriage certificate. Now, if you read down, this is the crucial sentence.
By the fact of their marriage, they recognise
Et légitime
and legitimise 4 children,
of the masculine sex.
4 sons she had at
Yeah.
this point.
But when you legitimise them, then they can inherit. They couldn't otherwise. No illegitimate child could inherit.
But I do also notice that Louis alone is listed as Louis Schuch, and the
Yes.
others have all been given the name Volant, presumably
Yes, they
at
have.
birth.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering whether this Pierre wasn't a very decent man who fell in love with Salomé and said, I will assume responsibility for a pre-existing child.
It is possible, and such things happened.
I like Pierre Volant very much. Decent man, did the right thing. I'm quite fond of him now. And so Salomé came from Brumat. Where is Brumat?
It's in Alsace, close to the German border.
And Schuch isn't a typically French name.
No, it's a Germanic name.
Yeah.
And Alsace-Lorraine was always a mixture because it moved constantly between France and Germany.
So she was born on the border with Germany.
That's right.
I found out that my great-great-grandmother was at one point in really, really dire straits. And if there's one thing that's quite clear, this was a woman who was a survivor. She wasn't going to go under.
There is a definite parallel here. 20 years ago, I was teaching and writing in my spare time and was very skint. And then not long after that, because my daughter's nearly 18, I became a single mum. So I feel a connection there.